Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 26th of June. The first important news, that is India-Egypt Inc. Strategic Partnership Declaration. The Prime Minister of India is on a visit to Egypt. After the completion of his US visit, he's actually headed to Egypt, and he has also returned today. Second, that is India's third moon exploration mission. We'll see the details. MQ-9B drone deal with United States to be finalized. A confirmation coming from the Ministry of Defense amid the allegations from the opposition. So we'll see the point that is relevant to MQ-9B, relevant for your prelims examination. Second last, that is banks to track spends on outward remittances. There were some rules that has come up by the government. We'll see the details. And the last is an editorial Manipur. It's not a time for a finger pointing. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I start this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. And if you're someone looking forward for test series come guidance program for mains, that is UPSC CSC 2023 mains, we have come up with a comprehensive coverage of each and every paper. This will masters and give you the part of the comprehensive coverage of the syllabus which is relevant for the examination. So this initiative is known as Abhyuday. It's available both online and offline. For more details, you can reach out to this contact number. And in this program, you'll be offering with 4 GS full length tests with 2 essay paper and 2 ethics paper. So comprehensive part of the coverage is there to give you the complete edge in the examination. So the program has actually started from 18th of June. You can join it anytime. Now, moving ahead, the first news of the day, that is India-Egypt Inc. Strategic Partnership Declaration, something important for General Studies Paper 2. That is the effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. So India and Egypt recently signed an agreement on strategic partnership as Prime Minister of India held the bilateral talk with the Egyptian president. And just to remind you that the Egyptian president has also visited India. I'll make a discussion on that also, but just to give you the background. Now, relationship with Egypt are seen as one of the fastest growing ties with the North African nations. अगर आप देखें recent के time में India has been keen interest on the part of having a bilateral relationship with a country like Egypt. Now, उसके अलावा the two countries has elevated their strategic partnership in January when the president of Egypt visited India. This is what I was talking about. और उस समय भी मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस किया था कौन कौन सी ऐसी एग्रीमेंट है जो इंडिया और इजिप्ट के बीच में हुई है. Now with the strategic partnership, दोनों कंट्रीज ने अपने कोऑपरेशंस बढ़ाने की बात की है, and this include the area that is pivotal for both the countries, which include the part of socio and political matters, economic and trade, cultural affairs, defense and agriculture, scientific and academic ties. So these are some of the part of the priorities that is given by both countries, right? Now, Egypt's highest state of honor was conferred to the Prime Minister of India. So the government of Egypt has bestowed highest honor of the Egypt, which is named as the Order of the Nile, right? So the Order of the Nile is the highest order, the part of the award that is conferred to any individual. So the Order of the Nile was established actually in 1915 by Sultan Husseini Kamil. And this is of Egypt, award a person who has rendered useful services to the country. It is also known as Khiladat el-Nil. Now it is one of the kingdom's highest honor until the monarchy was established in 1953. After Egypt became republic in 1953, the Order of the Nile was reconstituted and served as the Egyptian highest state honor. Now, Talking about the bilateral ties between two countries, India and Egypt have reviewed the entire spectrum of bilateral ties, which include the part of trade and investment, defense and security, renewable energy, cultural and people-to-people contact. So these are some of the important points that you should take a note of if you are having PSIR as an optional. अगर आपके ऑप्शनल में PSIR है तो आपको इस तरह के जो bilateral relations हैं उन पर काफ़ी खासा ध्यान देना है. And important for general studies paper 2 specifically, there will be a question that can be asked. Now, India and Egypt has signed a pact to elevate the bilateral relationship to the strategic partnership. जो bilateral relationship है उसको आगे बढ़ा करके strategic partnership करने की बात की है दोनों countries ने. And 3 MOUs has been signed. Which are these 3 MOUs? First is agriculture, second is archaeology and antiques जितने हैं, and third is competitions law that was also signed. So these are some of the important and prominent focus area between India and Egypt. Now trade value की अगर बात करें between India and Egypt, so the trade value were swiftly moving towards $12 billion target between two countries in the next 5 years. And in the past 6 months, Indian companies has raised the investment of $170 million in Egypt. Now, India has emphasized that increasing the cooperations between the two sides in the field like renewable energy, जो कि काफ़ी added advantage और potential होगी दोनों countries के लिए, reflecting the joint commitment to renewable energy and even providing the environmental protections. In fact, many Indian companies are investing in the green hydrogens and the electric vehicles. Now, defense and strategic ties की अगर बात करें, if you're talking about Egypt, for any country that matter, defense will be something that will be inevitable in this context. So, अगर इंडिया और इजिप्ट की बात करें, so they are looking forward to enhance the part of strategic ties in defense. Indian and Egyptian army conducted the first ever exercise in January, and Egypt has already shown keen interest in producing Tejas with light combat radar military helicopter between the part. And in last year, India and Egypt has a long tactical partnership between the countries where SUK M30I jet were also the part of the military exercises. In September, the Defense Minister of India, Mr. Rajnath Singh, has also made a state visit to Egypt, where some of the important defense agreements were also signed. Now, moving to the other news, India's third moon exploration mission, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology, and development of new technology. So India's third moon exploration, this will be third because we have not made success in the second as well. This was a failed attempt. So this is the third mission stated in mid-July, which will share the name of associated individual. And this will be an important milestone for ISRO. Indian Space Research Organization planned to retain the name of Chandrayaan-2 with the Chandrayaan-3 equivalent to the name. So which are the names that will be taken? Will be the name of Vikram Sarabhai, and even Sarabhai is the father of Indian space program, and the rover Pragyan. So this is how they are basically the part of remembrance and tribute will be given to the mission 2 also, but 3 we are expecting this to be successful. Now, just to give you the part of important point for the Chandrayaan-3, Chandrayaan-3 consists of indigenous land rover module propulsion and a rover. The lander and the rover will have a scientific payload carry out for the experiment, और इस मिशन के थ्रू ये demonstrate की जाएगी that the soft landing on the lunar surface have been a rover conducting the experiment, right? So this is how something actually look like. This is a part of the land rover plus rover, land modular plus rover, and these are the propulsion modules, right? And this is inter-module adaptant cone. You can see this cone over here, and the rover will be inside the lander module. Now, about the launching timing, basically ISRO has confirmed its plan that the third moon mission will be there in mid-July, the LVM-3, formerly known as Mark 3. This is again important for many other government examination, prelims examination, and this will be done from Sriharikota. The 6 rover will have 2 payload. The first is called Alpha Particle X-ray Spectrometer, better known as APXS, and the laser induced breakdown spectrometer known as LIBS. So these two are the factual information relevant for examination. And in addition, there will be a payload called propulsion module and spectrometer, polymetry and habitat planet Earth, which is known as SAPE. And propulsion module will carry out the lander rover configuration's 200-kilometer lunar orbit. So something that you need to grasp or learn. आप इन सारी चीजों को by heart देख लें, because there can be a question directly asked in the examination. Now, scientific experiments की अगर बात करें, the lander, rover and propulsion module will have a payload performing the experiment to give a scientist an insight and the characteristic of Earth lone satellite. The lander will have 4 payloads, that is the radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and hydrosphere, Chandrayaan surface thermophysical experiment, instrument of a lunar seismic activity, and laser reflectometer array. So these are the part where the scientific experiment will take place. Now, MQ-9B drone deal with US to be finalized. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. And this is also relevant for the General Studies paper 2, where security related matters are mentioned in the syllabus. Now, Ministry of Defense has clarified on Sunday because they have clarified that the cost of the 31 MQ-9B drone that will be acquired to United States is yet to be finalized, because the MOU has just been signed. The prices and agreement has not yet been made. The price of this drone will be decided upon only the comparison is done with the best prices offered by the other countries. So definitely, if any country, be it India or for any country, they made a purchase, they check for the competitive pricing, right? So the Defense Ministry will compare the acquisition's cost and the price that is offered by General Atomics and American Defense Corporations and other countries, right? And why this is in news? Because opposition has raised concern that the price was not revealed by the government of India. There can be some level of fraud or anything suspicious that can take place. So in light of that, the confirmation and the statement were there from the Ministry of Defense. Now, India is also negotiating to increase the indigenous content of the deal from current 8.9% to 15 to 20%. That will significantly increase sourcing from the Indian industry. Now, some features about MQ-9B. This can be again relevant for prelims, even for mains, and for many other government examination that you will be appearing for, right? So what are the important features that you need to know about MQ-9B? It has a weight of 5670, fuel capacity this one. These are some of the technical details. Now, some important, that is, it can crew 2 pilots in the ground in the control stations. Weapon can be laser guided missile, anti-tank missiles and anti-ship missiles. What are the missions that it can take place? It can have humanitarian assistance, search and rescue, law enforcement, border enforcement, defense counter, and airborne early warning system. And this can also have electronic warfare, anti-surface warfare, anti-submarine, airborne mine counter, long strategic ISR जिसे कहते हैं, and overall the horizon targeting. So there are a bunch of specific features which is there with MQ-9B, and it is considered as one of the most advanced drone system in the world. Now, procurement in progress, that is what the government said, that they will be completing the part of the procedures which is there. So there's a due process which has to follow. There's a letter of request which is known as LOR, which is there, which has been initiated to the US government, and their tri-services requirement are there. Based on that, the Ministry of Defense will finalize the letter of offer and accept the part where they will be finally coming up the deal, and the execution process will take place. Now, there's a acceptance of necessity for acquisition, जिसे AONB कहते हैं, और इंडिया में कैबिनेट ने इसे पास कर दिया. Central government has actually approved that. So this will be, this was actually approved by the Defense Acquisition Council. This will include 16 Sky Guardian and 15 Sea Guardian endurance drone from United States. And AON note that the estimate cost was $3072 million as provided by the US government. And it is said that the price will be negotiated when the policy was approved from the US government. So the final approval has been made after the Prime Minister visit to United States. Now the only point that is lagging is the price. So once the price is approved, the final process will start. Now, back to track spent on the outward remittances, something important for General Studies paper 3. that is the Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth, and development. Now, recently we have come across the news, and I have also made a discussion about the 20% of the criteria that has come up with the liberalized remittances scheme, which is also known as LRS. Right. So, of this, the Reserve Bank of India has set this rule from 1st of July that the banks are gearing to get ready for the system to track on the spending on the international card and to mobilize the part of tax collected at the sources for the outward remittances, right? So this is how the things will proceed when it comes to the TCS, that is tax collected at the sources. Now banks will be finding the going tough ascension when it comes to the TCS on exemptions on the credit card. I'll tell you what is the number and the amount that has been set. So liberalized scheme की अगर बात करें, so the liberalized remittances scheme was actually introduced by RBI in 2004, way back in 2004. The scheme is a part of the FEMA, that is FEMA 1999, which lays down the guideline for the outward remittances from India, and the budget has raised the tax collections at the sources to 20%, right, and 5% on the overseas tour packages, which is outflowing the liberalized remittances, and permit $2.5 lakh per year spending abroad. इसके ऊपर अगर होती है, then 20% of the part of the taxes will be incurred. Now, some concern, that is the notification, evoked the criticism about the finance ministry issuing their statement that the credit card spending over 7 lakh per annum only would be under the LRS. However, the formal notification and even detailing the part of the threshold has to be issued by the government, so the clarity has to be there. The issues concern the payment of the credit card only as a debit card payout were treated as a LRS even earlier, right? I have already made a discussion to this news. If you want, you can refer to that. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is the Manipur. This is not the time to finger pointing, something important for general studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. It's an important editorial. In this article, we'll try to understand the part of the human emotions and even the desire requirement. Practically, we need to understand the problem that is the need of the hour. Only having a debate that who should win and what is the demand. The first humanitarian approach should be there. So we'll see the details, what I'll be discussing under this editorial. First is the Manipur ethnic violence and normalcy. We'll see the detail how it will actually function. After that, there will be a link between the mutual warfare that will be there. Acknowledgement of the Meiteis as a plan, right? What is the plan for cookies, and the conclusion part. So Manipur has been unfolding to an extended tragedy. We have seen that how things has become worst in Manipur between the two ethnic group, the Meiteis and Kukis and the Nagas. So the two group of the state has a major communities, that is Kukis and Meiteis, right? There have been a bloody communal clash that is ongoing from May 3rd, and it is utterly meaningless. Central government can definitely intervene, it can control the situation, but the things that is ongoing, the part of the geopolitical things and everything, government should have more focus on this. My personal opinion is that the central government have given some more emphasis on this to control it. We have lost close to 150 lives, right? 120 lives are there, which has been lost. Now, this can be reversed if any estimations were there that the 45,000 people have also displaced their life and they are living at the temporary shelters, which is again, the situation is worst in the Manipur, and the ultimate aim of the central government and the state government is to restore the normalcy. Now, the interlink in the mutual welfare ki agar baat kare, there's a standoff which is going in the Manipur, and they have already shown much that the hills and valley depend upon each other for mutual welfare. If you have come across any hill station, see, the coordinations between the districts, between the state, the hilly states is very important, because transportations, logistics, food items, and even coordination is essentially a mandate. In relationship to that, it is expected that the valley would feel little more vulnerable. True, there will be a topographical and agricultural advantage that will be resulted in the state formation list. तो अगर बात करें इस तरह की important चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हुए, एक important coordinations की जरूरत है. The Meiteis near the panoramic concerns about the Manipur territory integrity and must be understood in this light. So they are fighting for their right, but we need to have a debate, we need to have a negotiation, we need to have a dialogue with the people that what are their actual demands. Now, acknowledgement of the Meitei's pain की अगर बात करें, we need to acknowledge that definitely these people are facing the real pain, and this is a time that we need to come up with the ethnic cleansing that is happening in Manipur, actually becoming, if nothing, we need to ensure that the displacement of the people should come back, और जितने लोगों को नुकसान हुई है उनकी सरकार को compensate करने की भी जरूरत है. With the most people missing, they are silently on their non-aggressive ethnic cleansing. The Meiteis from the Manipur and the hill have decayed since long, since independence the people are residing, and the right for both of the community need to be addressed. It is a time to acknowledge the accumulated pain and humiliations that is confinement of the Meiteis that would have to bear, which is not a trivial. Now for the cookies, what are the actual concern for them? The cookies to have made a long suffer with unjust humiliations and the sense of persecutions whether they are with the intense manner. और गवर्नमेंट को ध्यान देने की जरूरत है कि कोई ऐसी पॉलिसीज जो उनके लिए काम करे that should be there. And even they have seen that the poppy cultivation has been not allowed. Illegal migrations, encroachment to the reserved forest. These were some of the problem that was faced by these people also. So it's the livelihood everyone will fight. So this is a law of nature and even the survival for the fittest. So this is how the people are actually also fighting for their survival. Now to conclude the part, the return of normalcy, very, very important. This is the foremost point that need to be focused upon, that the normalcy must be the priority. And the initials should be there that the leadership at the top must address this. Even if the score left is settled, they must end with the dueling the part of the no, और जो एक sustainable options हैं दोनों community के बीच में उसके तरफ बढ़ने की जरूरत है. Along with that, the dispels all doubt, that is the cookies militant under the suspensions and the operations agreement of their conflict, the Assam Rifle must provide the conclusive evidence of the cadre back in the designated camps, right? The priority for the government and the stakeholder must be to restore the normalcy at the priority level, at the highest level. So this is how you can conclude. And from this particular topic, the interview and the part of personality development, आपसे इस पे भी सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं, तो you need to be thorough about the topic. I have already made a discussion to this news when the news has actually evolved. तो आप comprehensively इसके बारे में knowledge रखिए. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of Saturday questions. That is the first, the correct option is C. For second, the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for practice. आपको बताना है sugar industries के बारे में. It's the largest producers of the world. India is the largest producer. Government has been encouraging sugar mill to divert the ethanol blending. Check out for the correct option. Second question is about the Nobel Prize. The prize is handed with a gold medal and diploma. The Nobel Prize laureate are eligible to submit the nominations for the prize. So check out for the correct option. Practicing a lot more current affair question will give you an added advantages and edge over the examination. If you have any other concern regarding admission, courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.